There is one thing that's holding so many women back from being the most happy, peaceful, best version of themselves. And once you make the shift, your life will literally look good as it feels. You're gonna feel lighter, you're gonna feel present, more like yourself than you have in years. And most importantly, this will unlock a feminine energy that isn't forced or performed, it just naturally flows. In this video, I'm going to reveal exactly what that one thing is, how to actually do it, so you can step into the most feminine, most peaceful version of yourself. And I'll tell you right now, it's not what you think it is. If you're new here, hi there, I'm Samira. I talk about feminine energy, mindset, and rebuilding in your life that actually works for women without the burnout and extremes. If any of this resonates, I would love for you to stick around and subscribe. So here's what I see happening with a lot of women right now. She is doing everything. She's working full time or building something on the side. She's raising children, trying to stay present, trying to make sure their brain is fully developed at the right time. She's cooking, she's cleaning, she's managing the home. Let's not forget, she has to look good. So she's tracking her calories, trying to work out, trying to look put together, but on the inside, she feels empty. She's replying to messages immediately, being the dependable one, showing up for her friends. She's constantly consuming content on how to be better, how to optimize, and just do more. But she's exhausted. The kind of tired that sleep fixes. The kind of tired where you actually have to stop and ask yourself, is this actually working for me? And the cruel irony is that on the outside, she looks so well put together. On the inside, she feels disconnected, depleted, like she's moving through her life on autopilot. She's wondering why she doesn't feel more feminine, more radiant, more lively, losing her spark. And it's not because she's not doing enough, she's doing too much. But the women who seem the most radiant, the most magnetic, the most at peace, what on earth are they doing? How are they unlocking the feminine energy? And what is that one thing that unlocks her feminine energy? Do less. Now, I know that sounds too simple, and before you click off, I need you to hear what I actually mean by that. Because doing less is not about being lazy. It's not about dropping your standards. It's not about being less ambitious or doing less for your family. It's about something way deeper than that. Feminine energy is not something that you become, it's what remains when urgency and force fall away. And real quick, before we dive in, if you have a strong calling to slow down or just tired of hustling, I have a free 7-day soft life workbook challenge. It's a simple but powerful way to shift your energy in alignment with the woman that you deserve to become. It's for free in the link below. Now, I want to speak directly to my high achieving women watching this because I used to think of myself as a very high achieving woman. And like I said, it was all about getting better, becoming the best version, and just go all the time. When I was burnt out and depleted and just exhausted and was like, I can't continue doing this, I can't continue doing it all, I really struggled with this concept of doing less. It was really difficult for me to do because doing more felt like a superpower for me. I was a huge self development freak. I used to love listening to podcasts and read books, and that's all I read, to be honest. If you look at my Audible list from the past 10 years, it's all self development books. Like, I just couldn't get enough of it. And yet, I still feel like I was chasing something. And there's a certain point, like, and this was like last year, this time, before I started this channel, I was like, I am so burnt out and tired. Why am I so not feeling my natural self? Like, why am I so exhausted? But it was because I had trained myself to believe that doing more and getting the results from doing more was how I proved myself to everyone, including myself. And especially how I showed up for people that I loved. There was never like half-assing, like I went above and beyond. So when someone was like, do less, it felt so uncomfortable to me. It almost feels like a betrayal of who you are, like you're going backwards or something. Here's what I learned the hard way after hitting rock bottom is that doing less does not mean that you're a failure. And that drive of just go, go, go it was not coming from alignment. It was coming from anxiety. Like I wasn't doing things with intention. I was doing things out of pressure. So here's what I want you to take away why doing less does not necessarily mean you are less than of a person. Because in my own experience, I realized doing less actually allowed me, paradoxically, to do more. Let me explain. I was more present with my son. I was more connected with my husband, more creative, more patient, more like myself. Doing less didn't shrink me. It just helped me return to myself because it wasn't about doing more. It was about allowing for more. Now, if you're so used to doing everything and you can't possibly fathom doing less than what you're doing now, you feel like you will lose control. You feel like the role will fall apart. You feel like your child will be the worst behaved child in the world. You'll believe that your marriage will fall apart. You believe your house will just, everything. Trust me, I had the same thoughts about the thought of doing less. And honestly, just feeling like I was a bad person, a bad mother, a bad wife. I wasn't doing enough for me. But once I stopped letting go, when I started doing less in general of everything that I used to do, it's so crazy about what happened after this. And I'll explain what that looks like. But the one thing that I want you to take away and what's important to learn before you do less is to learn how to detach. Because the reason why most of us overfunction is not because of busyness, it's this need for control. We do more because we're trying to control the outcome. However, feeling like you're in control is an illusion. You truly do not have control of outcomes. And based on what I've experienced the past few years of life, like as much as I thought I could change destinies and put in the work and see the exact results, life, humbles you in many ways and says you are not in control. Now, where does this control come from? Let me explain this psychologically. When we experience anxiety, like really fixated on controlling the situation, this is essentially our brain's attempt to control the future. When we feel unsafe or uncertain, we instinctively reach for action because action gives us that feeling of control, even when real control was never ours to have. But research on the stress response shows something really interesting. The moment you stop trying to control the outcome, your cortisol drops, your heart rate slows down, your nervous system goes from fight or flight to rest and digest. Your body physically relaxes. And from that state, everything changes. Now, this is going to be a little woo woo, but bear with me. This is something I deeply believe in. Your current results, like your existing reality, your current reality, your relationships, your energy, your life, are a reflection of your current thoughts and beliefs. It's not your circumstances, not what happened to you, and not the economy or season of your life. Your state of being is attracting what you are currently experiencing. So when you're stressed, overfunctioning, having anxiety, bouncing off the walls, not sleeping well, not looking your best, that is the energy that you're putting out. Hence, you're attracting the same energy in, which is why the most powerful thing you could do is to do less. It's to essentially shift the state that you're operating from. And that starts with detachment. Detachment is not indifference, it's not caring, it's actually a form of forgiveness of yourself, of your circumstances, of the outcomes that didn't go as the way it planned. Because when you forgive, you stop playing the victim. You stop letting the past have power over your present. You create space for new experiences to come in. It's also letting go of resentment. It's also letting go of any resentment that you have. You're conserving your energy. Trust me, girl, I can hold resentment. I can hold on to things and have a really hard time also forgiving. But like I said, once you start forgiving others, forgiving yourself, and also letting go of resentment, you're literally just conserving your energy and stop letting it bleed into things that you can't control. You're literally owning your power instead of giving it away to circumstances. And here's the thing about pain. A lot of the suffering that we feel during the painful transition period that you're having, or whatever you're feeling, comes from resistance, from wanting things to stay the same. You want things to feel familiar. You don't want to be uncomfortable or uncertain. You want things to stay the same and predictable, because you fear that change is going to bring something that you're not ready for and you're going to, like I said, lose control. But the moment that we let go, the moment that we detach, genuinely let go, we literally invite new energy, new inspiration, new direction, new energy that wasn't available to us because we were holding on to the old energy so tightly. When you surrender, all things fall into place. I've experienced this. It's rooted deeper than your mindset. For me, it's trusting God, knowing that my job is to essentially just show up with intention and then releasing the outcome into hands greater than mine. And like I said, you are never in control at all, ladies. This is something you need to accept. And you need to be aware that you cannot control every single outcome. And by being an overachiever, overgiver, doing the most, if you're doing the most, you are exhausting. You are just exhausting yourself trying to be. Let me show you actually what this looks like in practice. What is the soft life? What is tapping into this feminine energy of doing less? What does that look like, Samira? Just want to make it clear that soft life is not an aesthetic. It's not a candle and linen sit that you see on Pinterest. It's a series of quiet, daily decisions to stop overfunctioning and start honoring yourself instead. So here are some examples of me doing less and has helped me tap into my feminine energy and just feel good and come and reconnect with myself. So here's our first example. This is going to be like a simple example, and I know a lot of women might not even have this job in their house, but took pride in the fact that I cook home cooked meals all the time. So I made it I was very adamant about clean ingredients. I was very adamant about not eating out as much and just putting a lot of pressure on myself to have a home cooked meal every day, especially even when I was working full time and had a toddler. But now And I would stress myself. And then in this, in this promise I made for myself, I would stress myself out so much if I didn't know what to make for dinner, if I didn't have the proper ingredients, if I didn't have dinner ready on time. I'd feeling guilty that my son doesn't have dinner. I'd feel so guilty about not having dinner ready on time, and just it was just like a daily panic. So after being burnt out, I decided that I'm not going to stress myself about cooking. It's okay to eat out, or it's okay if my husband does it. There's no internal negotiation anymore, and neither am I justifying it to myself or anyone else. I am just genuinely tired, or I don't know what to cook, and it's okay to take breaks. Because what's the point of having a home cooked meal if the mother is burnt out and depleted and just not her happy self? Think about it. So ask yourself, where are you making yourself cook and clean or produce when what you really need is rest? Another example is, learning to say no to social invites. So, personal story, I have a friend that is very persistent and always happens in some bizarre way get her way. And I'm pretty easygoing, it's not that big of a deal, but over time I was like, man, she always ends up doing what she wants to do. And I, for the first time, was just, learn to say no to an invite or no to what she had suggested. And she was pretty persistent. And and I am the kind of person that feels uncomfortable or feel like I'm being difficult, or I feel like I'm not being easygoing like I've always been. It just felt out of my comfort zone telling this girl, no, I don't want to hang out. No, I don't want to go there. Sorry. Like the old me would have felt so guilty. The old me would have felt, you know what? This girl's so persistent. Like, I feel bad. This time, I was like, this is the universe testing me right now. And let's see how much I can stay true to myself and hold my ground. And, being, obviously not rude or a bitch or anything, but just try to, politely, do what I want to do and not constantly give in to someone that's, very adamant about what she wants to do. And I did. And that was me, doing less, not, giving in and saying yes to everybody that comes around my way just because I felt guilty. Because the reality is that showing up for someone out of guilt is not love. It's not genuine. We need to confront ourselves about that. It's performance. It's, just because the soft life is being honest about your energy and trusting that the right people in your life will understand. So, a question to ask yourself is, when are you saying yes when everything in you is saying no? Another area of my life is content creation, this YouTube channel. I used to be so hardcore when it came to goals. And this isn't my first time with content creation. And I've attempted the Instagram influencer thing. I've attempted YouTube many times, and I always had these like crazy goals of like posting 2 videos a week plus 10 shorts, or even with Instagram I did 100 reel challenge and I killed myself. I hated it, and I always burned myself out when it came to this. So I promised myself that if I'm going to do things less, I want to do YouTube. It's something I enjoy doing. However, I'm going to try to do it at my own pace and not burn myself out like I always did, because that never worked out for me. I always hated it and giving up. So if I can't film the day that I can't film, it's fine. Perfectly fine. I don't spiral like I used to. I don't spiral about losing momentum, and I don't, kill myself over the algorithm, because I've learned that rest is part of the creative process. If I don't take breaks, if I don't spend time being relaxed, how am I going to have creative ideas or have a clear, mindset to be sure to talk from what I really want to talk about versus just forcing, content that's regurgitated by other, creators. And I've noticed that when I do that, the best ideas come to me. When I, for example, can't film or post for a week or take a break from YouTube, I notice that the best ideas come to me at the most random times. Pretty much that energy that I was giving away of like, oh my God, I didn't post at the certain time, I'm going to lose my momentum, is given to me stopping that energy and allowing creative energy come in to what really matters. And for all my other high achievers when it comes to work or, content creation, slowing down does not kill the dream. It protects it. So if you're in a similar kind of situation, why don't you ask yourself, where are you forcing output when your creativity needs space? Here's another example that a lot of women can relate to: movement. If full workouts don't happen, it's totally fine. I try to at least move, whether it's like a 5-minute stretch up and down the stairs. I'm like, you know what? That's my workout today. I used to be, like I said, so the high intensity girl, workout 5 days a week, intermittent fasting, crazy goals that never got me results, by the way. Never. I never got the goal. But once I started slowing down, taking it easy, just going for walks, just doing a little stretch. My body was so relaxed that I immediately saw results. It was crazy. I finally reached my goal weight. I dropped the all or nothing thinking around fitness, and it removed so much low-grade anxiety in my daily life. Because you want to honor what you can give your body today instead of punishing for what it can't. It's one of the most feminine things you could do. Just take it easy. So here's a question to ask yourself if you're in a similar situation. Where are you holding yourself to a standard that no longer serves you? Another area of my life where I started doing less. Now, this was a hard one, a very hard one for me. Motherhood. I was that mom that wanted my son all to myself. I really struggled with the thought of putting my son in childcare. I really struggled of him letting spend nights at, family's house. I wanted him all to myself because I just feel like I knew him best, and I was his mom, and I was just that crazy mom that had a hard time taking breaks from him. I felt like I should always be there for him 24/7. And then I was also this high achiever of like, oh my God, I don't want him watching TV. Oh my God, I don't want him on the iPad. That's when I realized, you know what, Samira, it's okay. If you need to drink your coffee in peace, it's okay if you give him your phone for 15 minutes. It's totally fine. If you just want to wash dishes or clean the house in peace for an hour, it's okay if he watches TV. Doing these little things really helped me remove the guilt, and we're both happy. And you can't pour from an empty cup, right? And I really was just emptying myself out. And, he may have not seen a great version of me. But now that I'm just like, it's okay, you can definitely go to your aunt or uncle's house. You can definitely play with your cousins. You can go to preschool. His preschool is like literally 2.5 hours a day. And it helps me so much. It helps me to get stuff. It honestly helps both of us a lot. The old version of me had this belief that was wired so deep that a good mother is always present, always engaged, never outsourcing. But here's what I know now. A regulated, rested mother is worth more than a depleted, resentful one. Your child does not need you to be everything all the time. It's so funny that I'm saying this. But like I said, my son's 4 years old now. I was that crazy mom. And I'm realizing, especially in this modern time of not having a village, it's hard to do it all. And you can't do it all. And on top of that, the last thing you want to do is guilt trip yourself because you can't do it all. So, huge lesson for me of doing less when it comes to motherhood. So, ask yourself. So, if you share a similar sentiment, ask yourself, where are you sacrificing your own restoration in the name of being a good mother? Okay, so, all right. So, another area of my life where I started doing less, or started doing things differently at least, was how I handled my monthly cycle. For years, I treated my cycle, the natural feminine cycle that we all women have, as a huge inconvenience to push through. I worked out really hard during my luteal phase when my body was begging me to rest. Gosh, I remember when I was working full time and I worked for a very high demanding marketing job, how during my luteal phase, everything just made me so angry. And so any setback, anything that was said during a meeting would drive me crazy. And I hated how I felt that way during that week. And I felt like it was affecting my performance. I felt like I was not running my meetings the way I wanted to. And I just hated that week. And I hated having to rest during my period. I'm like, I wish I could just work out. Working out makes me feel good. I was ruining my body and really pushing through this inconvenience that God had given me. But the reality was, it wasn't inconvenience. I was just out of sync with my body. I talk about this a lot in my other videos, but men and women are not the same. And women should not be treating their cycle like men operate, because men operate on a 24-hour hormonal cycle daily, just consistent, stable. So lucky. Whereas women, we operate on a 28-day cycle. Our hormones, estrogen, progesterone, testosterone. You probably see how I'm struggling saying those words, but yeah, they fluctuate consistently. And they rise and fall in the 4 distinct phases. Each phase, I learned in my 30s, a little too late, sadly, that each phase creates a genuinely different neurological state. During follicular and ovulation state, the brain is more outward and social, and you feel like you're confident and best self. And then during luteal and menstrual phases, your progesterone goes down, your progesterone rises and then drops, and the brain pulls inward. And that is an amazing time to pull inward. And that's an amazing time to be reflective, more sensitive, more in need of rest and solitude. Take it easy those 2 weeks. Please don't do what I did. So once I started honoring my cycle instead of fighting it, the anxiety around productivity dropped. My creativity actually improved. Like I worked with my body. I was totally in sync. So now that I'm honoring my cycle, I feel more like myself than I ever did when I was forcing through it. So just remember, ladies, that your body is not against you. It's been trying to tell you something. So here's a question to ask yourself. Where are you expecting yourself to perform full capacity when your body is asking for rest? And lastly, this is another area where I started doing less. It's very simple, but it was focusing on my pace. It sounds a little too simple, but it changed everything. I started noticing at how fast I was moving through my life. Eating fast, multitasking and rushing, always starting the next thing before the last thing even finished. What I slowly learned is that speed is a stress response. When your nervous system is in chronic urgency, even mild urgency, your body is producing low-level cortisol constantly. You become habituated to rushing. It feels normal. You feel like this is how life is supposed to be. But the problem is that low-level cortisol is keeping you in a reactive state. It keeps you living 3 steps ahead of the living present, which means that you're not actually living your life. You're just moving through autopilot. So I learned to slowly slow down. Walking a little slower, speaking a little slower, letting a moment actually complete before moving to the next. This all sends a direct signal to your nervous system that you're safe and there is no emergency. And once your nervous system believes that, everything shifts. So a question to ask yourself is, are you actually living your life or are you just rushing through it? Here's where I want you to take away from all of this. I'm not telling you to live exactly like me. These are just examples to inspire you. These were just examples of what I did to do less and what helped me tap into my feminine energy. And there could be other areas of your life where you could probably do less. So pretty much my version of slowing down can look completely different than yours. Maybe for you, it's not cooking on Wednesdays. Maybe it's keeping your Sunday mornings completely free. Maybe it's saying no to a group of friends that drain you. Maybe it's letting someone else put your child to sleep without the guilt. The soft life isn't a one size fits all. It's about finding your system, the one that honors your energy, your season of life, and who you actually are underneath of it all. But it's really hard to go from a person that did it all to slowing down immediately. I personally needed a framework. I needed a system to kind of learn how to slow down, as weird as it sounds. So that's kind of what I've actually been building. It's called the Strategic Feminine Reset. It's going to be a digital guide and workbook designed to help you stop overfunctioning and build a life that actually works for your energy. It's not my system copied onto your life. It's your own, intentional, soft. It's absolutely your own. You can make it your own. It's literally just a guidebook. It's a structure. The whole point is for you to become intentional and soft and become aligned with the woman that you deserve to become. The waitlist is in the link below, right under my Soft Life Workbook Challenge link. It's right under there. It takes less than 30 seconds to join. It's still a work in progress, but if you join the waitlist, you'll be the first to know when it launches. Of course, if you haven't already, you can always grab the free 7-day Soft Life Workbook Challenge if you just want to start learning how to slow down in general. So this wraps up our video. And once again, if you haven't subscribed, I would love for you to stick around, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!